Hello, as you see this, I am on my way back to Kansas, and I was not going to be able to upload today because it's weird with traveling from California back to Kansas by train, but I'm going to be on the train parts of 3 days because of like what hour things leave and the time change and everything. So there will be no daily vlog for today. Instead, you get this lovely question and answer with me and Steve. So yeah, stick around. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next question, which was another crocheting question from GodRocks2107, whose name I want to say is Esmeralda. I think that's right. Anyways, it says, how do you price your items and how do you determine shipping costs? Well, the way that I price my items is based on weight. I have... What?
Go ahead.
I
was going to say, the way she prices her item is she guesses. Then she asks me if I think it's a good price or not.
Well, here's the funny thing. Like, we live in an area where pricing things is difficult because people are cheap and they won't pay for handmade stuff. But people also have enough skills in the yarn arts that there's lots of things where if you price it too high, they'll just have someone they know in their family try and make it, or they'll try and steal your design right off the item. Anyways, what I was saying, the formula I have worked out, and I worked it out for sure when I was selling in a retail space because I needed to have like some more consistency, is I make items and then I weigh them. For things that I make out of like Super Saver or the equivalent, and I basically use the same number for cotton yarn too, like Peaches and Cream, is 3 cents a gram, and then that's how much I consider that I have used in product. Then I multiply that by 3, and then I take that number and I multiply it by 1.075, and that's taking the total cost of the item, and then it adds sales tax for where we live, and that gives me a number, and then I decide whether that number feels good. I know that there's like this whole way of figuring out pricing that is based on like letting your heart kind of determine it. Like, does it hurt you to sell something for that much or that little? And I kind of find a middle area in between there. If I know for certain what yarn I use and it's not that, and I know how much I paid, I will sometimes figure stuff out that way, like how much I paid per gram, and then I multiply that by 3, and then I multiply that by sales tax.
The multiplying by 3 is the idea that a third of it is the product, a third of it is paying for the space that you sold it in, whatever the
if
case
it's like paying for entry fees or commissions.
And a third of it is supposed to be paying you.
Yeah. So that's kind of where that comes from. And then as far as shipping costs, I used to just charge, like for special orders, I'd charge an extra $5 over whatever I would pay, like charge for the given item, and then an extra $5 for shipping. Well, shipping has gone up, and I used to be able to ship, like my dolls are the main thing I've shipped. I used to be able to ship them for less than $5, but an amount that made it where like $5 covered my gas to go to the post office or my ink to print out the label or whatever and ship it. Well, now to ship a doll is like over $7. So for most people anymore, I just give them like a price for like items, because everything I ship happens to be special orders. I will figure out how much their total is, then I will pack their box and I will weigh it. And then whatever I get charged for shipping, I charge them directly. And since I do it all through PayPal, that's the easiest way to figure that out. And I feel like it keeps people from feeling ripped off, and it keeps me from getting ripped off, because before I started doing that this winter, I took at least one special order where I kind of ate it on shipping because I didn't realize how much it had gone up. And not only has it gone up for the bigger, kind of heavier items like the stuffed toys, but it's gone up for just like anything that has to go as a package. We found that with sending Christmas gifts too. Like if it goes in a manila envelope, it's substantially more expensive than you'd think. So that's kind of how I've worked it out. It's part of the reason I don't sell that much stuff on Etsy, is because figuring out shipping costs is really difficult, and it's really time consuming for how different all my items are. So kind of been the holdup on that. If you have more questions about the pricing thing, let me know. Okie dokie, and now the fourth, final, and probably most exciting question is from Jen, the uncreative crafter. And it says, you have dropped some tantalizing one-liners about life events and family activities that are interesting and adventurous. Because those are two words that are totally used to explain us. Interesting
so
and adventurous.
interesting.
Though I do tell Steve frequently that people will think the things that we do or the way we do them are interesting. And I say, yeah, except...
Until you start explaining it, then they give you the blank look of...
No, that's people in our real life.
Oh, okay.
I meant these folks, the ones that actually like us. As they're all thumbs downing right now. Anyways, I always say that I'm preaching to the choir when I talk to you all. If you don't think that, like, my let's make our kitchen into chaos so that I can not freak out when I put things in a new place, you all think that's normal. Or some of my other, like, weird Kendra ways of thinking. But it's because I'm preaching to the choir. So, y'all are the choir over there, in there. Anyways, her other comment was, I can say I've never named a Christmas tree. Jen is not the only one that commented on this about the Christmas tree naming. I never knew that naming a Christmas tree was weird. I mean, now, most people name their Thanksgiving turkey, right? Like, your family brings it out and everyone starts calling it something. Your family does it too. So
yes,
this
do.
is not
one.
This is not one of the things that makes my immediate family weird. But I didn't think it was any different to name a Christmas tree.
Did your family name their Christmas tree?
No, we just fought over it.
Oh, okay. So it was a plan, but you never executed?
Yeah.
That's kind of how we were with our Thanksgiving turkey, usually.
Yeah.
So then it was usually named one of the two people that were...
I thought your turkey was frequently named Bob.
Well, that's what I always suggested. But no, it was usually named after my father or my uncle.
Yes, that's true. But yeah, we've always named things. I named my bike Pedley. She's in the garage. We still haven't named the stove, but I keep calling it a her. She's so pretty. She's over there.
I'm not going to get to use it until you get back. Because we have a list of firsts that we have to use.
Yes, I've decided the first thing I'm going to cook on the stove, the first I'm going to cook on the griddle, and the first thing I'm going to cook in the oven. Aren't you curious? You'll have to wait and see. It'll be like
Maybe you should have to wait till Feed Your Face February.
No, because I need to film some stuff in advance. Okay, so, Jen's question, finally, is the question, am I able to edit and be brief? No, I'm not. Welcome to the Rambly Show. That's what we're doing. Okay, so.
Time filler.
What is the most unusual thing you and Steve or the whole family have done? And Steve and I have been talking about this question, like, all week and try to figure out what the most unusual thing is. And we've gone through quite the list. Should we talk about the list or just talk about the final thing?
You could talk about the list. You could do a countdown.
You could do a countdown. I don't know that I know them in order. The first thing that I thought of was it is very unusual that we made it through having 3 children, like all of our kids. We never fed any of them commercial baby food. We've never bought commercially food, with the exception of some dry cereal, like the oatmeal stuff, the fortified stuff, for our first, because I was concerned about some vitamin things. But other than that, like, we never bought, like, peas or whatever. We always made our own. And we have never purchased and or used a disposable diaper, including having our last son, in the hospital. He was never diapered in the hospital that way. Steve started cloth diapering him from birth. And we also never used wipes, ever. So that was kind of one of the things I thought of that's just kind of uncommon, I guess. We talked about how our general life plan is just kind of unusual. Most people don't choose to work nights like Steve does, purely because it then gives you options and how you spend your day. We talked about how it was unusual that post-Christmas we were like, gosh, everyone makes a big deal about the holidays, but they're really not a big deal, and we realized it's because we live on Christmas vacation. Meaning we spend all our time together, we do, like, leisure activities daily, we eat yummy things. I rambled enough that it turned off. You can only record so long.
How long do we have to wait?
What do you mean? I just hit record.
Oh, it's back on.
Yeah, it'll just
Okay.
only take one length of clip and then it cuts you off. So yeah, so we just, like, we do all those things anyways. And then we thought about, like, is the most unusual thing that we did manage the resort, that we worked the fishing resort and did that, because I think that's unexpected for people. I don't know, around here some people might argue that it would be unexpected that, like, we're college educated, like, that we have all of the background that we have. That would surprise people. But what did we decide, Steve?
We came up with the one time a bear ripped a bumper off of our car. Now, we were not in the car at
But
said time.
we were in
but
the
we were
bedroom
in the house
within
that it was
hearing
next
distance.
to. And the next day, when it came back, because it had found an awesome food source, I chased it away with a pot and a spoon.
Now, the reason that the bear attacked our car is because we made a little bear bait trap, apparently. We bought a bag
No,
of...
it wasn't a trap. We just baited
We
the
just baited the car, you're right. Well, because of, Jezebel, we could not bring cat food into the house without immediately putting it in, like, a plastic container, because she would shred the bag to get at the food. And we were living at the resort, and that meant we had to go down the mountain to get food, so we came back with, like, all these groceries, and we didn't want to have to deal with the cat food that night. So we just left the cat food in the trunk of the car.
Shall I correct the story?
What?
We bought it when we got Jezebel and Manelia down at your parents'. And so the reason we bought more cat food is because, so much cat food, is because it was cheap, and all of a sudden we had 3 cats. And the reason we left it there is because we got back from our 7.5-hour drive down to your parents' house.
Oh, I just knew that we had driven a long time and that we didn't unload the car. We unloaded everything out
Except
of
the
it,
cat food.
except the bag of cat food. And the reason we didn't unload cat food is because she
Yes.
attacked it. So, we had cat food in the car, and in case you didn't know, there are vents in your trunk. That way, you know, if someone tries to, like, stuff you in the trunk and close the thing, you don't suffocate.
It's also just so when you close your trunk, the air has a place to go.
Well, yeah, but the reason it's big enough for the bear to get in is it's supposed to be a safety thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I was reading about it after
Okay.
this happened, that there's a reason it's where it is. Anyways, so there is, like, a safety air, there's a vent. And the bear could smell things, so the bear shoved its claw up the vent. So we had a brief intermission, mostly because I had to dump the memory card because I'm chatty and filled it up. I was telling Steve this was the world's longest Q&A, and what was your comment?
I said it wasn't the longest Q&A, just the longest A. The Q's were still fairly short.
Yes.
Though we did manage to drag that one out for quite some time.
Yeah, well.
And now we're dragging the A out. It's just as long.
So did we answer everything about the bear?
I think so.
So yeah, so the bear pulled, like, the carpet and stuff out. It was fixed. It was covered. Oh, it was covered by insurance. So
We had
was
comprehensive coverage. So.
But was it? Wouldn't it have been covered by our not our renter's insurance, but if we had homeowners insurance, didn't we figure out that the bear had something to do with it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But maybe.
I feel like there was something.
I certainly wouldn't bank on that.
I do remember though. Steve called the insurance people to tell them about the car, and
They were like, "Were you in it?" I was like, "No, we were not in it. It was at our house, though."
But then we never had issues with the bear after that. But we don't leave animal food in the car in California anymore. I'm not worried about a bear attacking my car in Kansas.
Though one of the dispatchers I work with does remember over the radio one time when she was younger a report of a bear crossing the highway. It had escaped from the circus.
Because that's where we live. Where things escape from the circus. But anyways, I think that is all of the
That's
questions.
all the A's?
And all the A's.
And all the Q's.
So, if you have more questions or more, like, I'm sure we brought up enough topics, there's probably more questions. But if you have questions on anything we talked about or anything else, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will either answer them in my long essays of
form.
answered comments that I tend to answer in the comment section, or I will make sure we film another video to cover it. So, I think that's it. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Past my bedtime.